Hi, this is Beth with All Over Your Light. Blessings, everyone. Today is, what is today? Oh my goodness, it's Monday the 3rd, Monday, August 3rd. I was going to do kind of like a Trump August ahead thing, and I don't know, things change so rapidly, so I'm just gonna try to do a Trump week ahead. Let's just see where we are in a week with Trump, and if it goes further, that's fine, because, you know, I may have an intention in place and then the guys just take it the direction they want it to go anyway. I kind of wanted to have a couple of things about Trump, though. I know that the Manhattan DA, what's his name, Vance, came out to the lower court, because we know that the Supreme Court said that Trump doesn't have complete immunity from being the president about his taxes. But they did, you know, say that Trump and his team could still go into the lower court and fight about releasing his taxes, but it can't be based on him being the president. Okay. So I know Vance has come out, and it was interesting because he says, what did he say? What did he say? Has to do with they are looking at insurance fraud, bank and insurance fraud. I'm sorry, I've got a pad of notes written down of stuff. So I don't forget things. I forget names and stuff like that all the time in my head. And so I want to know how that might play out, and are those, you know, taxes going to get released before the election, because this keeps going on. And then maybe this particular reading might also go into week ahead with Trump, or it could even go into Trump and the GOP convention, although I might make the GOP convention a separate reading. So let me just see what the guides are saying about Trump, at least for the next week with Trump. So I'm gonna listen. Oh, this is not where I thought this was gonna go. They're taking me, I heard somebody say, people are worried about Trump's health, and there's cause for concern. So now I know there was a bunch of chatter over Twitter, which don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, it will drive you crazy. But there were photos, and it looked like Trump had a bruise on his hand, and so, you know, all kinds of stuff. What is he getting tests done? You know, what's going on? So I think this reading may take a different direction. So let me listen. They seem to want to talk about Trump's health right now. I'm hearing them say he's had some blood work done. Like, I feel like he's had some blood work done. Hold on. And they may be starting to run some tests on him. Hold on a second. This is interesting. There are really people around him who are getting concerned about him. It's not just enabling people. People are really starting to have some concern about his ability to handle things. And these are some of the people around him, I think. This is a little bit different than I felt, because I felt he had so many enabling people around him in the past. And I know that I did that reading, I think it was last week, and I had felt like he's going to have a health event, if not this year, then next year. So let me see. Yeah, so I feel like he's had blood drawn. Hold on. They're checking his... It might just be, oh, I don't know, your cholesterol. But I feel them like testing levels of something, like cholesterol, I think, you know. But I feel like it might be more than that, like medication levels. Like, he might be on some medications that they need him to be at a certain therapeutic level. Okay, hold on a second. I feel like he's tried to push away concerns, but even he can't push away all the concerns. So hold on a second. They're running tests on him. There are tests being run on that man. They're not, and I mean, if you are a person who hears him speak, you would have to have some concern about some of the things that come out of his mouth, making sense at times. There's growing concern around him about his health. I'm just going to say that one right there. And I feel like they're not telling us the truth of everything that's going on. So they're going to, the guides are really reaffirming that. And we may hear somebody kind of spill some stuff that isn't supposed to get out about him. And I feel like that's going to, so now they're taking it around the convention. I feel like that's going to come out around the convention. Okay. This is not going the way I thought it was going to go. And I have to tell you that they're also saying to me, now they're taking me more to that convention. There are starting to be people who, I'm seeing it like, landmines are being planted around him. Yes, I know he's got a lot of support with his base, and I know he's got support within the leadership or the elected officials, but he doesn't have everybody. And I'm telling you, there are some people who are starting to, there's like they're planting landmines. There's some sneaky people around him, I swear, who want him to trip up. Hold on a second. Because I'm getting people planting landmines around him closer to the convention, like around the convention. Hold on. Yeah, it's like there's concern, I think, by some people about what might come out in his taxes if the taxes get released. What they might already know about him. They're becoming, I feel like they're becoming increasingly worried about how he's affecting the other races in the Republican Party. Excuse me. Now, I had heard that Mitch McConnell was saying to some members that, look, if you're in a close race and you need to back away from Trump, do it, basically. And you know, you never know, this could be just lies, right? But I'm really feeling that that's really true. That there are starting to be people who are backing up from him. So I'm like feeling these 2 or 3 landmines, like somebody's planting them in the ground around him. And Trump's all Trump. He's all like off in some kind of thing with his head and his thinking, and he's speaking, and then I feel them backing away. This might get real interesting around the GOP convention, because I feel that they're becoming increasingly concerned about how he's going to affect the other races. But their hands are tied too, they're showing me, because they can't, in their mind, right, they can't attack him when he's got so much support from the base, but he's losing a lot of independence. It's like the Law and Order thing, getting all the suburb, supposedly the suburb Law and Order, everybody's going to be scared. It didn't stick the way they wanted, and they're retooling it. I had already seen that they had pulled away some of those commercials, so they're retooling now. There's another message they're going to try to come out. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me listen. This is kind of a scattered reading. I'm sorry if anybody's watching this. But they're really going around. So I guess if we're going forward, Trump's health is worse than we know. He's having some concern. They're running tests, and there are people increasingly backing away from him, although they're not going to be real out with it, because they don't want to antagonize the GOP base. They're putting landmines. They're waiting to see how much is going to explode in his face before the convention. Hold on. And I even feel like money's getting pulled away. I think this has to do with donor people. Like, donor people are pulling some money away from him. Not all of them. Not all of them, but some are. So, let me see if they'll just take me into the GOP convention a minute. Let me see what they'll say more about it. It's not going to be as smooth as they think. you've got die-hard people on one hand, and you've got people who are really getting worried about how this election's going to go in November. As far as the Senate races, the House races, are they going to lose more House seats? How is it going to affect them in their state races? Hold on a second. Let me see. And the reason why, because I knew that they had said that they didn't want press in there, although I also had read that I think they're going to change their mind back and forth between now and then about how much they want the outside people to see. Like, I feel like they're trying to really have a tight message, and since this can't be like a traditional convention where it's packed and everybody's rah-rahing, and they don't want to show lots of empty seats. They don't want to show half a socially distanced amount of people. They don't want to show that. It doesn't fit what they want to do, but their hands are tied because of C-19. Hold on. And I'm also going to tell you they're a little worried about Trump's speech. Whether they're not real happy, I think, with how he's been doing these so-called talking about the C-19 press conferences. They're not happy again with those. They don't feel like it's doing anything, right? Hold on. They're worried about how he'll come across. They're worried about, will it be lackluster Trump? Will it be going off the deep end Trump? Will it be lackluster people responding to him? They don't want a lot of that out there. So I feel like they want to tightly control it. Let me see. I swear to God, there's numbers of them that if it blew up in his face before then, they'd be very happy to stick Pence and bring up Nikki Haley for vice president. They are concerned about what it's going to look like to have Biden and his vice presidential female candidate. And I'm not going into that in this reading. They're wanting something more energized, but the way things are, because of how Trump managed C-19, he doesn't get what he wanted in the fall, which was his rallies and all the people there and the thing that energized him. Okay, so they're worried. I'm feeling worry around him, worry from people, so-called, I guess, the political operatives, worried about people who are elected. Now, don't get me wrong, he still has his support that he has, and he's got people who will go to the mat for him, but there's more and more people backing away, even if they're doing it silently. So I don't even know if this reading made sense. I don't even know what to call this reading. I guess a Trump snapshot / some upcoming energy of the GOP convention. Trump's got some landmines around him that the people he thinks he can trust have put there. So that's going to be interesting to see. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing okay, and blessings.